Hello friends, welcome back to Frontier Patriot for another delicious chew and chat. Now today we did not cook over on Early American. Today we busted some myths for you guys, but we're still going to eat something here while we talk about some more. What is that? Hey!
Mish!
We got a special guest. Come on, Mish.
Mish! It's as if he knows when we're about to start chew chats. Come on, you give me your buddy. No, he'd rather just meow at the door.
They're waiting. Anyways, as I was saying, thank you for watching the video over on Early American where Justine busted some myths for you. We just get tired of hearing, oh, well, they're short back then, or he had wooden teeth, or he pooped in a hole in the ground. Nope, it's way more sophisticated than that.
There's so many more myths that I didn't tackle. I mean, I could seriously put out an hour-long video on this subject.
Maybe we have like a part 2 in a couple months or
definitely. And I did put out another myth video a couple of years back, which tackled the height issue again, which we came to the same conclusion after research as they were about the same height back then as they were now. And also the closet tax. That's a myth in America that never existed. That only was in England.
Venetian blinds.
Venetian blinds, and don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. People seriously thought that they threw babies out in the bathwater. No,
and the sleep tight bed buds.
That is a bad one. I do not remember if I tackled that one in that because it's been 2 years. But
if not, we'll do it in the next video.
What he's saying is, have you ever heard when it comes to these old rope beds, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite? Now, did you go to a museum and you might have heard from a docent that meant you have to twist the ropes tight or else you won't sleep good? Unfortunately, that is a very commonly spread myth. And we know that's a myth because the very first time that saying ever appeared anywhere was in the late 1800s. And by that point, rope beds were very out of fashion already. And also, believe it or not, they had slang back then, like we do now.
Y'all?
Well, no, like, that's tight.
Oh,
you know, that kind of slang. Where someone from 100 years won't understand that. But sleep tight back in the 1800s meant sleep good.
Okay.
It was slang for good. Tight was slang for good, which I think is hilarious because even nowadays it kind of means that.
Yeah.
Like
that was tight.
At least in the early 2000s, okay? I don't know if the kids are still saying that, but they'd say like, man, that's tight. Love that. His outfit is tight. You know, they don't mean it literally. Well, believe it or not, in the Victorian age, tight also meant good. So sleep tight means sleep good. Has nothing to do with tightening the ropes on the bed, blah, 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 blah.
You can see how it go both ways, because you don't want to sleep on loose ropes either.
Right.
But that wasn't what it was meant to be.
Yeah, there's just no evidence that it had to do with tightening the bed. It was slang back then.
So you guys can find that over on Early American. Just dig or go to the search thing in there and type in myths, and that video should pop up along with the video that we just put out.
Oh yeah, but for now, let's eat because you don't want to eat
cold cabbage
and beef.
Oh.
Blop.
Now, I'm not the biggest cabbage fan. I like coleslaw, but cooked cabbage ain't my most favorite thing.
I love cabbage.
But somehow I enjoy it whenever you cook it.
Well, thank you. That's the correct thing to say. And there's more where that came from. I don't have a knife. We never seem to have enough clean knives around here.
They're always dirty or they're getting lost.
Exactly.
It is your turn this week, dear.
Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for giving us all the opportunities that we have in our lives. Please bless everyone that's watching today. Thank you for this food. Let it nourish our bodies. Amen.
Amen. Dig in.
So being that I don't have a knife, I'm just going to stab my food like a savage. I hope you like it.
That's not bad.
Yeah?
The butter helps it.
Of course it does.
And the spices.
Of course. I like cabbage. Do you guys like cabbage? That can be this week's poll, maybe.
Do you like purple cabbage or green cabbage? Or both, or neither?
Yeah, that's true. I like it.
I will say, when I was growing up, my mom would boil cabbage, and the whole house would just stink.
Oh, no.
I couldn't stand it. And I think that's why I got this thing about me where I don't like cabbage.
I always fry cabbage. Always fry it.
It doesn't stink in here. It doesn't
No.
smell like stinky cabbage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going in as unelegantly as possible. It's good.
Here's some thin steaks.
Yep. It makes your money stretch more.
It's good.
Thank you. It makes you feel like you've already eaten 3 whole steaks.
All beef needs is salt and pepper. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yum.
I put paprika on it too.
No.
Yeah.
All it needs is salt, pepper, and paprika.
And
Very
fire.
Good. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, taste the fire on it.
Mhm.
The smoke.
Mish is just meowing outside.
Hey, come on. Let's go.
Chop chop! Lately he's been very bad about meowing. Very bad. The last 2 days, shockingly bad.
I found it. Oh, get in there.
It's like herding cats.
Who's a good boy? Huh? He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. He's very loud.
Well, before I forget, I wanted to give an announcement because Christmas season's coming up soon. The first weekend of December here in St. Genevieve, we are having our annual, I think it's 40th annual Christmas festival. So there's going to be a parade. There's going to be events going on in town, musical events, singing, like choirs, ensemble bands playing, and fun things to do for Christmas time at a variety of areas. And just want to let you guys know that's a free event, and the parade kicks off at 11 a.m. on December 7th. That's Saturday.
In the afternoon, on that day that Ron just said, we will be in the Linden House giving out gingerbread cookies and holiday warm cider. I'm going to make the cookies myself and just give it out for free. But we work part-time at the Center for French Colonial Life, which is a museum in our town that owns a couple of late 18th and early 19th century buildings.
Yes.
And they preserve them. And so the Linden House is one of those. It is from the early 1800s, that one.
Yes, it is blue with a red roof, so it's really easy to find. It's on Main Street.
The most patriotic looking house.
Yes. Blue with white trim and a red roof. Red, white, and blue.
Man, this is good, Ron.
I know. It's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. The cabbage is good for what it is. It's cabbage, but the meat, I love this meat.
This is good cold weather food. Historically speaking and modern.
Yeah. I will say I like the green pieces of cabbage more than the white pieces. Same with lettuce. That's just how I'm with lettuce.
Yeah. It's harvest season. You would have traditionally been butchering your animals, your hogs and your cow.
I'm sorry, I mustn't eat this with my hands.
That's okay. And so this would have historically been the time of the year for meat. Meat. Summertime, you would have had a lot of chicken, a lot of game birds, rabbits, things like that, deer. And then in winter, you would have had a lot of pork and a lot of beef.
Reminds me of that commercial in the 90s when I was a kid. Beef is what's for dinner. Here you go. You like beef?
You could have had salted beef in summer.
Oh, yeah, he likes that.
Really, because he hates human food.
He keeps saying he hates human food, but he eats butter. He eats beef. He likes bacon. He likes cheese. He likes biscuits from Cracker Barrel. He likes human food.
I tried to give him some raw beef yesterday, like the tiniest piece the size of my fingernail, and he wouldn't eat it.
But he just gobbled that up.
Wow.
He's sophisticated. He likes it if it's spiced. It's gonna have the flavor on it.
Well, that's the official verdict. It's good. Mish is eating it.
Yes.
It's gone.
I give this meal, I'll just rate it overall. Is that okay? 9.9.
Thank you.
I'm hungry too. You don't hear me meowing.
Put some potatoes on there.
Ooh.
Some roast potatoes.
Little potatoes in the cabbage, that'd be good.
No, I meant on the side. But you could do that.
That's good too.
We have very interesting this week's weird history facts for you all.
We do. It revolves around the video that you did on Early American.
Does it?
With the height.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. What?
In a way, I mean, kind of.
It relates to it.
Hmm.
Come here. Come on. Come here. Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Say hello. Say hello to everybody.
Mish,
Why are you being so fussy?
why are you meowing so much?
Hello. All right. So, like I said, it relates to the video on Early American, the segment where you talked about the assumption that everybody was really short back then. Well, it comes to find out that everybody's like they are today. There are short people, yes, and there are really tall people, yes, and in most cases, it's just average.
Now, before you get into that, one thing I forgot to mention on Early American about that particular myth is the size of beds. The size of beds, historically speaking. Because people will say, like, oh, I know for a fact they were really short because their houses, the walls were really short, which, by the way, is kind of rarely true. I've never been to a historical house where the walls are really short, really, really short. Like, I'm only 5'3".
That's because those houses don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I guess not. But I'm just wondering, what houses are you guys going to where the walls are only 5'4" or something? I've never been to that, historically speaking. Yeah, they're always like at least 6 foot.
I mean,
5.
you would have built with what you had or what you could afford.
So it all comes down to what you can afford. But anyway, so then the size of beds is another thing that people will get on about. They'll be like, well, the beds back then were smaller.
My feet hang off my bed today, and it's 2024, and it's a modern bed.
That's true. So they're like, that is proof, therefore, of the fact that people back then were shorter, is because their beds were smaller. It is also a myth that they slept sleeping up. Very weird myth. I don't even know how that got started. Some people did sleep sitting up because they still do to this day. It helps your sinuses and drainage. But some people act like people 200 plus years ago were not even human. Like they didn't sleep normally?
Henry Knox was over 6 foot tall. George Washington was over 6 foot tall. Lincoln was way over 6 foot tall. I mean, these are big guys.
This week's weirdest history fact. Go, boom.
All right, we'll start out with the woman first. The world's tallest recorded woman. Her name is Ella Catherine. Goes by Kate Ewing. She is actually from Missouri. She was also called the Missouri Giantess. Like goddess, but giantess.
Okay.
Female giant. She was 8 foot, 6.5 inches tall, and she wore a size 24 U.S. shoe.
24?
That's 24 inches, basically, because U.S. goes in inches, I believe. That's a big shoe. That's twice the size of mine, because I wear 12.
And the fate of almost all of these people, not all of them, but all of them, is they unfortunately had to work in a circus in order to make money. The
only way you make money, and unfortunately, all but one of these people, they don't make it past 30, I don't believe.
Because to become that tall, usually you have a tumor in your brain or your thyroid. It's not natural for a human to be 8 feet tall.
The rest of your body can't keep up, like your heart can't keep up.
Yeah, your heart struggles, and by that point you have a hard time walking, hard time keeping up with your calorie needs.
Next up, we're going to talk about the tallest man in the world. He was born, and he's actually from the 20th century. He was born in 1918, and he lived till 1940. His name was Robert Pershing Wadlow, and he was from Alton, Illinois.
That's right across the river from us.
So 2 of the tallest people in the world ever recorded are from this area of America.
What is in the water here, and why am I not drinking it?
It's that Mississippi water. You don't want to drink it.
Because I'm so short.
Now, he was called the Alton Giant and the Giant of Illinois. He wore a size 37. 37. So, let's see. He's 8 foot and 11.1 inches tall. So that is, he's roughly 5 inches taller than the tallest woman in the world, which was 8 foot and 6.5 inches. Next, we're going to talk about the shortest ever recorded man and woman in the world. The shortest woman ever to live that's been recorded, her name is Pauline Musters. She was born in 1878 and she only made it to 1895.
She was 19 then?
Let's see, 78 to... Yeah, something like that. She didn't make it past 25, that's for sure.
Now that one I know, apparently she had an alcohol issue and she had pneumonia.
Those two combinations don't work out.
Yeah,
together.
They don't. So on the internet, at least, it says that her body was weakened from alcohol consumption and pneumonia, and she died.
I could not find her shoe size, but she was only 24 inches tall.
Wow.
That's right here. That is really, really short.
Finally, someone that I'm taller than.
All right, next up is the shortest man ever to be recorded, and he's also the longest living to have lived so far that's been recorded that has been really short or really tall, because also being really short, things on the inside of you don't usually work out so well like they do is with the extremely tall people. So the shortest man ever, his name, and I'm sorry if I butcher this, is Chandra Danji. He was born in 1939 and he lived until 2015.
Ooh,
so
wow.
he was 70-something years old.
A normal life expectancy.
Yes. And he is actually shorter than that girl that we just talked about. He is only 21.5 inches tall.
Wow.
Oops. That is really, really short.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe all these people, like you said, have worked in show business. That's the only thing you can really do to make money whenever you're really, really short like that, or if you're really, really, really tall. And honestly, you probably would want to use that to your advantage to make as much money as you could to live a good life.
The first person on that list.
The lady?
Yeah, can you say her name again?
Ella Catherine Ewing.
The tallest, really, really confirmed person.
Uh-huh.
She was so rich that she had a custom-sized house built for her.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, this is a very large house for the time.
Had taller windows and taller doors. She was 8 foot 6.5 inches tall.
Well, I remember one of her circus contracts was for $5,000.
Whoa, that's a lot of money back then.
She made in a couple of months of traveling around. Now, back then, $5,000, you could literally buy a very nice house for $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what it breaks to in today's money, but at the same time, putting money in today's value is also not like a perfect way of doing that,
right,
because the buying power is different as well. But she was able to buy this and custom build this beautiful house for her. So she's definitely a big success story.
Mm-hmm. And she was born in Missouri and she died in Missouri.
In northern Missouri.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, I really, really like this.
That is good.
Yeah.
It's not even hot anymore because it's so thin, but it's good.
True.
It's good cold like that.
Right.
Like I could just take that for a snack with some cheese and crackers.
Oh. I feel like I hate eating food with my fingers. I'm really weird about that, but man, I'm having a hard time.
Just roll it up into like a cigar, a meat burrito, a beef taquito. Here.
Why am I eating like an animal?
I will. It's
Demonstrate.
yes. Uh-huh.
That looks like a cigar.
This one's actually twice as thick.
Goodness gracious, this was so good. I love this kind of food, comfort food.
Mm-hmm. So, show of hands. Who here has their Christmas tree up already?
I'm driving around town, looking through people's windows like a creep, and I see Christmas trees already in people's windows.
It's not even Thanksgiving yet. By the way,
Right.
what's on the menu for Thanksgiving? What are we cooking?
For sure we're having a sweet potato pie. I ordered something. An actual period piece.
How much you pay for this thing?
A lot. So. But I'm not sure if it's going to arrive in time for me to be able to use it. It's another original cooking piece. This one is dated from the late 18th century, maybe to the early 19th. And it's a bird roaster.
A bird roaster?
A bird roaster. Not for a full-size turkey, though. Fortunately, we cannot possibly cook that inside the cabin. Our fireplace is very small.
Mm-hmm. And after last year's turkey experience,
We're traumatized.
We're doing small birds this year, right?
We're doing like chickens or something, cause
like chickens or like a Cornish hen maybe.
Right, Cornish hens.
2 of them, 1 for me, 1 for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I always cook with Cornish hens on the channel. On camera, it appears to be much larger than it really is, I suppose. That's another thing.
I can eat a whole one.
That's another thing. People will always do comments on my chicken videos, and they say, "Oh, them birds weren't that big back then." I'm thinking, that is a Cornish hen. How malnourished do you think chickens were back then?
We see paintings of big chickens.
Yeah, we do. It's another myth. They might have been a little smaller. Now, obviously, we're not talking about factory farm birds here.
Right.
Butterball, whatever. Those are on another level that I don't even know because I don't eat that stuff. We're talking about birds that you raise in your backyard, and our birds are huge.
Yeah.
We don't feed them soy. We feed them corn.
Table scraps.
And table scraps. And that's literally it. We get whole corn that's dried, field corn, and then we crack it in a like iron machine.
It's a grist mill.
A grist mill, okay. And we give them that to supplement their calories, and then we give them table scraps.
And then they eat whatever bugs and worms they find.
Exactly, and they're huge. The chickens are huge. And we know the breeds of chickens that they had in this time period, so we know the average weight for that breed, and it just doesn't add up that they would have been so small back then.
Right.
It doesn't really make logical sense, because the breed is supposed to get to be to this weight when it's an adult.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know a wild turkey is like half the size of a butterball one.
Yeah, the factory-raised animals are horrific.
Right, but back then, people, they weren't really hunting wild chickens. They would raise their own
There's
chickens
no
just like you
wild
would
chickens.
today. So you're going to feed it more than what a wild chicken would eat.
There's no
A
such
wild
thing.
chicken? There's no such thing because it will die because the chickens are stupid and they'll get eaten.
Everything likes a taste of chickens. Everything, not just us.
Oh, man.
Well,
so we got sweet potato pie. Some type of chicken probably.
And the rest, they're going to have to find out.
Okay. Do I get to make suggestions?
What is it?
Can we have something with cranberries? I love cranberries.
Okay.
And maybe either like corn or green beans.
Corn is good.
Okay.
You want 2 desserts then?
Did stuffing exist yet? Or dressing, whatever you want to call it. I call it stuffing.
Yeah, it kind of did.
We should make that.
Yeah, kind of.
I love me some stuffing. Do you call it dressing or stuffing?
I call it stuffing. I will look into it.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I can find a serious recipe for it.
It's a savory bread pudding.
Exactly, it is. There will definitely be potatoes involved.
Oh.
Yep, there'll be food. You will leave not hungry.
And that's next week.
I know.
Can you guys believe it? Thanksgiving is almost here already.
And then it's officially Christmas time.
Yes. So those of you who did not raise up your hands, the day after Thanksgiving, feel free to put up your Christmas tree. Everybody else already has them up.
That's what we do.
My mom's already listening to Christmas music, and like I said, we're a week away from Thanksgiving.
It ain't right. It ain't proper.
I'm already burnt out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's... we did get the chimneys finished, by the way. So we got all the tuck pointing done, and they turned out pretty nice. Keep in mind, back in the day, the mortar was flush with the face of the brick in most cases. It wasn't pressed in really far like it is today, like you see in the 1970s and stuff on grandma's houses and stuff. So that's why it looks the way it does, and we wanted it to look old and rustic, and this definitely looks like it's been standing there for 200 years.
You did a very good job, Ron.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you and without the help of our friends.
Mm-hmm.
But here the last few days, you filling up the mortar bag for me down on the ground, and I'm pulling it up.
It's teamwork.
Because I can't carry all that stuff up on the roof. Because we did this the low budget way, and we didn't have scaffolding. So we were a good team.
We had a bag.
Yeah, it was a piping bag, like you'd use whipped cream on a wedding cake.
But I was saying that you were up on the roof, and you had a bag attached to a rope.
Oh yeah, a book bag.
And you would lower it down to me, and I'd put your bricks and your mortar
Mm-hmm.
in there in a piping bag, and he would lift it up, and we did that 50 million times.
Yes. So I got my, let's see, it's not lat pulls, it's the opposite of lat pulls where you're pulling it up. I don't know what that's called. But
It looks very good.
it looks authentic, let's put it that way. So nets is to, for the chimneys, is to get the liners in there, the steel liners, and then we'll have a cap made for the top for that. So until then, the wood covers we got on the very top will stay on there.
Yeah, those are going eventually.
Yeah, to keep water from getting down in there. And I think that's the only house update we got right now. The upstairs is completely drywalled. So we're gonna start on the main floor here soon. And I think that's it, actually.
Can't wait to move in.
Yep, it'll be amazing when we do.
It'll be amazing.
Well, anyways, guys, I think that's all we got today. So thank you for joining us. As always, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And a little teaser for next week. Next week, we're going to announce the Christmas card thing. So don't ask me for the address yet. That comes next week. Yep. Next week, we're going to kick it off. So you can start looking for whatever card you want to send. Because there's thousands of images to pick out. I know when I go to look at Christmas cards, it's like, oh man, I want this one. I want that one. Wait a minute. I want that one. So
our annual Christmas card exchange is coming up. This is what, the
fourth
year?
Fourth year, I think.
The fourth year of it.
Woo! So anyways, that is next week. We will announce it here, and we will make the address public next week on the Tube and Chat. So that's something to get excited about if you're into that kind of thing. So anyways, guys, take care, and we'll see you next week.
Take care. We love you. This is really good. Bye.
Bye-bye.